Today on Pots and Trowels, I'm in a vineyard in New Zealand, and that's brought to you with the support of Darlac and Cobra Garden. Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels on tour. Jill and I are on holiday at the moment in New Zealand, visiting our daughter and her family. And one of the things that we're going to do while we're here is tour around to look at some of the amazing gardens that they've got and do some videos for you. And if you also want to look at some of the videos we did when we were here 3 years ago, you can go onto our YouTube channel, Pots and Trowels. You can subscribe for free and see what we're up to then. But here we are today in this big, huge, wonderful vineyard. We're in Blenheim, which is the northeast of the South Island, and although you might not have heard of the town of Blenheim, I'm sure you will have heard of Marlborough, which is a very famous wine region and where we get lots of our UK wines. In fact, it's quite weird as we drive around in the car and there are miles and miles and miles of vineyards. We keep seeing the vineyard signs for the wines that we drink back home. So what we thought we'd do is to start the tour off with a look round this vineyard, and I'm going to meet up with Scott Hannan, who is a viticulturist and a winemaker, and he just so happens to be our son-in-law, so he's going to tell us a little bit how the grapes are grown. Hello Scott, all looking good?
Hi man, how are you?
It's all right. So everything's full of fruit at the minute, but just before we look at the vines, we're in the Marlborough region. Just to put it into context, how big in acreage, hectares is this wine region?
Yeah, so the Marlborough region is about 75,000 acres or 30,000 hectares. So it produces roughly around 300,000 tonnes of grapes every year.
That's a lot of bottles of wine.
It's a lot of wine. It's a lot of wine, and you see a lot of it in England.
And what is roughly the conversion rate? You know, how many kilos of grapes to make a bottle of wine?
Yeah, to keep it simple, it's about 1 kilo is equal to 1 bottle of wine. So, and we tend to measure grapes in tonnes rather than in kilos. So yeah, we get about 750 litres per tonne of grapes.
Right, that's a lot of wine in this area. So here we are, we're in a vineyard here. What type of grapes are these?
This is the classic Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Lovely big bunch structure on the vine. This year, unusually, we have quite a lot of shoulders on Sauvignon Blanc, which is quite uncommon. And yeah, we're just starting to get feeling a little bit of softness, so we're just starting to get into veraison.
Why is Marlborough, this flat land between the two ranges of hills, why is it so good for growing grapes? Because traditionally it wasn't grapes, was it? That's fairly recent.
Yeah, traditionally it was in different parts it was orchards and also even just general cropping, and then a lot of sheep and beef. The region has a combination of factors that make really good pungent Sauvignon Blanc, and the reasoning being is one, it's the climate and the timing of the climate. So we get good rainfall in winter, but come the autumn periods, traditionally we get nice and dry harvest time. Also we get cold nights and really warm days, so there's a real diurnal variation, and that maintains good acidity in the berries. Also it's relatively low humidity, which is really important for growing grapes. Also with the soil, it's quite bony and stony. It's an old glacial riverbed, so you often see very large stones pop up out of the soil.
Yeah, I've seen on some of the roads we walk by great big boulders, so they will be the natural river stones that have just turned up. So it will drain very freely as well, I'm presuming.
Yeah, and that's really important for grape growing at home, is nice free draining soil and a nice medium. And that gives the vines, the roots don't like to be wet. So if you get nice free draining soil, then the vines will go well.
Yeah, so even though grapevines are hard, I mean, we can grow grapevines, as you know, in England where we get really cold winters. Yeah. To get the fruit, you need that summer warmth, don't you?
You do, and we often get a good summer period between January and February where we get 30 degrees quite a few number of days in a row. And that just means that the vines can fully ripen. These vines in here have a really good crop on it, estimating around that sort of 17 tonnes per hectare. So that'll yield a very fruitful vines.
Right, and how old would these vines be? Because we've seen them of varying ages.
So these vines are about 30 years old. And they're all grafted, so you can tell the difference between here, the shape. This is where the rootstock starts here, and this is the mass selection clone of Sauvignon Blanc. And you can see these beautiful berries. And when they start to go through that veraison, they become almost a little bit translucent, and you can start to squeeze them.
So how far are we off harvesting? Well, you don't call it harvest, you call it vintage. So
yes, we're about 4 to 5 weeks off harvesting these grapes. So it's a crucial period that we get good weather now, so that things remain dry. Hopefully we can toast a good vintage.
Yeah, so they're not going to get an awful lot bigger than that, because I think people think of grapes that they see in supermarkets, these great big black grapes and white grapes. So these are obviously grown for their juice, going to be super juicy, but not the size of them. Yeah,
the smaller the berry, the more concentration. If we look at these berries here, these are probably at almost full development size. So you're talking about a 1.7, 1.8 gram berry, and you get a lot of variation. These are quite long bunches, and that's just been the season that we've got. Okay. They vary every year.
So the pruning and the training is very different to we do. If you're growing a grapevine in your garden, or I've grown one in my greenhouse for many years, and I'll plant a new one in the new garden. I train it as a single rod up and over, and then spur prune it back every year. But obviously this is a completely different technique. So just very quickly, how do you prune these?
Yeah, so this vine is pruned in what's called vertical shoot positioning. Basically what we've got, if we strip some leaves away here, we can actually probably see a little bit better. Don't worry about those. And what we've got essentially is 4 canes that come off the main trunk of the vine, and they get laid down on these number 8 wires here, on each side. And then the new growth is growing in vertical shoots, hence the name, coming off the top.
Oh, I see.
Of the thing. And that just lines up. Now, the reason why we do that is because we want maximum airflow and light penetration onto the vines. By providing them nice and upright, you've got this big solar panel of leaves that then can just drive all the energy into those grapes. We leaf pluck in this zone using machines, and that strips leaves off the vine to open up so that we can get our sprays in.
Yeah, so the grapes are basically in this area right the way through. This is just there, as you say, to feed the vines and the grapes. So when it comes to harvesting to vintage in a few weeks' time, which will be your early autumn, do people come out with baskets and snip them off? I can't imagine they do.
They don't. 75,000 hectares, acres, harvested in basically the space of 2 weeks. Is a lot of area to cover. No, we use machines for harvesting, and that adds to the complexity of the wine. So we get a little bit of time with the juice and skin contact together, and that makes it enhance the flavours, those classic Marlborough tropical flavours.
How does it pick them, a machine? Does it without giving any trade secrets?
No, no trade secrets. So the harvester actually goes over the top of the vines and shakes the vine violently so that all the berries fall off the bunches. So you actually end up with quite whole berries, but quite a lot of juice comes through. It is then captured and then up and over and into the bin.
And then straight off to the winery.
And then straight off to the winery, pressed and...
Yeah. That's great. So from picking to having a bottle of wine, how long are we talking?
About 6 months.
Right.
About 6 months. So one of the great things about Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc is its freshness. So we're trying to get that wine to market as quick as possible. And importantly, I think the flavours with Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc are associated with the berries, and what you can really taste is that you can taste the berries and you can taste that flavour, and you see it in the vineyard and you see it in the wines.
I presume that would be very sour if I were to...
Very sour right now. It's probably not worth eating, unfortunately.
And then the winter job, when all the leaves have fallen off, that's when the pruners come in and cut all this off, tie some more down, ready to start the whole process.
2 weeks to harvest the valley. 6 months to prune it, just about these days. So huge crews that come in and prune it. They make cuts through the last year's wood. Say here would make any sort of other cane coming off the head, a spur, just like you would with a home vine.
And you can see that old gnarled piece where it's been pruned back over many years there, can't you?
Yeah, you can see where they've made large cuts here and there and there, and then they've painted some bits and pieces. We've also got some, you'd make cuts on this side to lay those canes down, and you'd leave 1 or 2 canes four or 5 canes to wrap down, but you'd wrap down 4 in this vineyard.
Yeah, and it's really clever because there's no tying in, everything is just between 2 layers of wire, isn't it, to hold it into place?
Yeah, so the wires are dropped in the winter, and then as the vines grow up, they lift up more canopies. So it's quite different to what you'd do at home.
Absolutely.
But the system works really, really well for large-scale commercial vineyards. At home, I guess the important things are keeping the vines nice and open, not having too much canopy. If you want them to be very fruitful, you're taking the canes or the cordons you're laying down from last year's wood, that second year wood. That's really important, and feeding the vines.
Yeah, well, I was going to finish on that. A few tips for us growing vines in England on a very small scale in our garden. Feeding, what would you recommend as a feed? Is it to, do these get fed? What would you say?
Yeah, they get fed. So they feed not too much nitrogen. Nitrogen's you don't really need too much nitrogen for vines. They naturally tap in the soil. It's important to keep your magnesium levels up, your sulfur levels up, phosphorus in the soil as well. So just a good all-round feed, but something that's low in nitrogen. And a little bit of potassium late in the season, and that'll help with the ripening process. Okay, and watering, keep them moist all the time, or just at certain times when the berries are forming? They don't like to be too moist. If the ground is too wet, then they don't like what they call wet feet. So yes, we want to keep them watering. You want to keep the water up around that flowering period because that'll make you more fruitful. And then also during berry and cell development. The more water you give it during cell development, the bigger the berries you're going to get.
Right, okay. It's fascinating. I look forward to trying some of the wine, I think, and I think we'll even let Jill, you want a glass of wine?
That'd be good.
Yeah, okay, we'll have a glass. Thanks, Scott. It is fascinating, and thanks for letting us have a look just to find out a few trade secrets.
No problem, it's good to see you.
They're just so healthy, the leaves on them, aren't they?
They are, they're really dark as well, like you can see them.
Yeah.
And you can see the new growth is coming through. There's probably too much water in this one.
Well, thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and I hope that's given you an insight as to how the vines are grown. We're going to stay in the South Island, and next week we're heading off to Nelson, which is on the northwest coast, to look at an amazing rose garden. So we'll see you then. Bye.